Share.
Okay. Thank you.
Rory, where are you going out later?
I'm going to visit a friend who is in town from Vancouver.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Wait, Vancouver's pretty far.
yeah, it's like far west coast of Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So he's in town for a couple weeks, so I said I would
cool.
go and see him tonight.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, not sure what the plan is, but it'd be nice to see him either way.
Mm-hmm.
Things are really opened up now that you can go out and do stuff.
For the most part.
Yeah. There is like indoor dining is back. I don't think like nightclubs are super. Actually, nightclubs might be open now. I'm not really sure, but like all the patios are open and indoor dining is open, but kind of limited now. So yeah, pretty crazy. Our region just got into like phase 3 this week, which was kind of like almost open. So
Right. That's really good.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're a fully vaccinated band, which is exciting. Means that we can actually do stuff again.
Yeah, and I've seen that on YouTube. You guys were playing together a little bit. So
Yeah.
and
yeah.
I see your backdrop. So all those concerts were at your house.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, those were from last summer, the ones that we did here. But yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You need
Yeah,
this.
I can't.
You need the headphone, I guess.
All right. So I'm going to I'll mute one more time because I'm going to read over everything, make sure I don't flub it.
All good.
There will be, so on the live stream, people who are listening in, they might hear a slight delay when I play the first song, because if you've used StreamYard, when you're sharing something, when you're sharing a tab, you can only share one at a time. So you have to stop sharing the other tab and then go to the next one and share that one and share audio. But it'll be a much smoother transition on radio when people listen to it. So
Okay.
Cool.
it'll sound like I started like a couple of seconds into the song, but I really didn't.
Okay. All good. Sounds
All right.
good.
Cool. Got just under 4 minutes.
Should we play a word game?
I think we're okay. And if we like mute during it, if you have to like cough or something, is that okay? Like it doesn't mess anything up if we were to mute?
Nope, totally good. In fact, definitely mute during when the songs are playing.
Okay.
Otherwise, that will come through over the music.
Oh no. Okay.
Brian, I edited a podcast up here, and the one time right through our musical interlude, I accidentally forgot to mute a track, and there was a lively discussion about non-bread right through the song. But also the other thing was, it was also I only forgot to mute one person, so it was only one person's side of the conversation. So it was just my friend Justine talking about how much she loves non-bread and how she wants to make it for herself.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
And everybody's like, why is she talking to herself?
All right.
I needed some post-production on that one.
Right, yeah. All right.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Not live yet.
Yeah.
Is there Clancy hair?
Your hair.
Is it me hair?
Mm-hmm.
Rory, where are you going tonight?
I got a friend in town.
Oh.
Yeah, a friend in town from Vancouver. So I'm not sure what we're
Nice.
actually doing yet, but I said I'd head over and see them afterwards.
Sweet, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. High school friend, university friend?
Kind of met him through my roommate. He was roommates with my university. He was roommates with my roommate in university.
Nice.
And he's been a pretty avid camper with us the past few years.
Nice.
Nice. So you never know, you could be winding up like camping out tonight.
Yeah. Well, it's not looking great out there weather-wise.
No, it's not a nice day.
It's a true camping. Only the true campers camp in this weather.
Already had one of those this summer. Don't get
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I heard you finished up a doc today.
I did. I'm really tired, man. Honestly, like 2 days out there in like the mosquitoes, and I mean, the mosquitoes
bad.
weren't actually bad today because it was raining, and they weren't too bad yesterday in the sun. But
It's 59.
we did finish the dock, which is very exciting. It may not be up to code though,
Oh,
but it's Flesherton, so you know.
Check. My computer's over here, so if I'm not looking at the camera, I'm still listening to you. In fact, I'm probably very much listening because I'm looking at you and listening. But I don't know why I put my computer over here.
All good, no worries.
All right. All right. Hey, and welcome back to Music from Friends on WNTN 1550 AM. I'm the host of the show, Brian Thomason. Make sure you follow the show on Instagram at Music from Friends for updates and so that you can share music for the playlist. You can also join us on patreon.com for access to the live video stream, and there is still time to sign up for tonight's show. That's patreon.com/Music from Friends. Here's the first song from tonight's guest, and it's called Coal Mine.
Oh, the blue skies over coal mines keep me digging down. Oh, the blue skies cover my mind, put me in the ground. Oh, put me in the ground. But I found love once back in the city. There she lied next to me till she went away. Shiver, no one in the house. Oh, no one in the house. But I found love once back in the city. There she lied next to me until she went away. And I found God waiting by the window, waiting on his light to come take me away. I Once back in the city, there she lied next to me till she went away. I found God waiting by the window, waiting on his light to come take me away.
Tonight's guest is another great band streaming in from Ontario, Canada. What started out as a group of 3 Matts has turned into a 5-member indie folk band that combines amazing harmonies with driving beats to reflect on the beauty of life. The 3 Matt version of the band released 2 EPs in 2013 titled Land and Sea and Two Birds. Those EPs unknowingly began their musical identity as a band that uses imagery and nature as a metaphor for love and life. The group of the 3 would eventually add Allison and Roy to the mix, and then in 2019 begin releasing a series of singles that would be on their first full album. Though that album, titled Little Wild, was released in the pandemic in 2020, it didn't slow them down. Music from that album was featured on CBC in Canada, and when they weren't able to play the planned live shows, they continued on with a virtual tour where they were joined by other local bands and cities from around the region. They were also featured in the Blue Sky Music Festival in 2020, which was also virtual. Since then, they have released 2 more singles, Coal Mine and Wildflowers, and I'm really excited that their newest single, which won't even be officially released until August 6th, will premiere on the show tonight. It's a pleasure to welcome to the show Allison, Matt, and Roy from the band Eye the Mountain. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Brian, great
Hello.
to be here.
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for that wonderful introduction. That was awesome.
Thanks. Your EPK, EPK is great. Is that what? Yeah. It's in your bio. Your website's awesome. So thanks for having all that stuff on there. So we have Matt. Hi, Matt. Drummer Matt.
Hello.
And Allison. And Allison, how do you say your last name?
It's Dijak.
Okay, nice. And then Roy.
Yes.
Hey, Roy.
Hello.
Good. And how do you say your last name? I didn't want to mess it up either.
No worries. It is McLaughlin. Just a
Okay,
weird
good.
spelling of it.
Perfect. All right. So we are missing the 2 more Matts. Matt Lemires, who is the kind of lead vocal. Do I dare say frontman of the band? Does he even like that? Do you guys like that? Okay.
Yes, he's also known as Mr. Manager as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Manager. Okay. I'll make sure I email him. Hi, Mr. Manager. Thank you. And then,
He would love
he would
that.
really like that.
and then we have, we're missing the other Matthew Morgan who plays bass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you 3 for joining. So Matt, you're one of the founding members that's here. You mentioned on the IG Live that we had at the beginning of the week that it started out as the three-piece band, which I said at the beginning, and that you really added kind of Matt Morgan last minute. How did Roy and Allison, how did you guys join those other 3?
Well, so I knew Rory. Actually, the 3 of us here are teachers. So I met Rory at Teachers College, and we played a show in the hallway of our Teachers College floor together at Wilfrid Laurier University. And I mean, I am not a guitar player by any means. I know like 4 chords. So I think we played like one of my many favorite Taylor Swift songs. And I quickly saw that Rory was a pretty sensational guitar player, far outstripping my abilities. And then Allison, we met, can I say it? We met on Tinder.
We did.
We did meet on Tinder.
Nice.
And so one of the first things you sent me was videos of you singing, which were amazing. Those are still online, by the way. If you want to hear a great mashup of Bastille and Eminem.
Okay. Now that's intriguing.
It's
It
there.
is. It's really good. So I sent her some of the Eye the Mountain stuff, and then she sent me some of a video of that back, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is unbelievable. So of course, when it came time for us to do recording and talk about the future of the band, it just seemed natural that I sort of bring these two people into the fold, and asked Rory if he wanted to come out and jam for a bit. And Allison,
I mean, I was usually at home when you guys had your band practices,
Yes,
and I
yes.
would come down and say, "Oh, can I help you with that harmony?" Or I'll just play piano for this song, just for fun to see what it sounds like. So
yeah.
Wow.
So it was a pretty natural transition,
Yeah.
actually, and it worked out very well.
Okay. Rory, were you in any bands prior to this?
I was in a couple. I mean, in my high school days and also early university, but they were a little more on the heavier side. So this was something new for me in terms of
Okay.
playing folk music.
Okay. Like pretty heavy metal or like punk or?
Yeah, I guess more of like punk, post-hardcore stuff.
Oh, okay. And I guess that's where you got the awesome electric guitar skills, huh?
I guess so.
Have you been playing guitar for a while?
Since 2003. So yeah, it's been quite a while now.
wow.
Okay. How was the transition going from that, heavier metal, harder rock to much more kind of folk rock? I mean, there is still this kind of, I don't know, Spotify calls it, stomp and holler type of genre, but there is this still kind of driving rock. So has it been okay of a transition for you?
I think so. I mean, there was a little bit of a learning curve, but I think it helped that when I joined the band, a lot of the songs that they were writing had parts in mind. Like they had parts in mind already. So I was able to learn those parts and kind of build on them a little, but kind of gave me the groundwork for the direction I should be moving in
Okay.
with my playing.
Nice. And they just said you can't use distortion.
No, we still find a way to fit it in there sometimes.
We
Oh,
love when
yeah.
Rory uses distortion.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, honestly, Rory adds like a different dimension to it. So when we're writing songs, oftentimes he takes the song in a direction that we otherwise wouldn't have thought of, but ends up being like an unreal direction for the song, a bit more of like a rocky style, which is great.
And then Allison joining a big group of boys, huh? How's that been, bringing that female side to it?
Honestly,
needed.
it's super fun. I mean, I grew up with 3 older brothers, so I'm not totally new to being surrounded by a bunch of guys goofing around all the time. But it's really fun. I mean, it's fun I really like the balance of like harmonies that we're able to get, having male and female vocals in the picture. Like it's fun for some songs to kind of more focus on the male harmonies, a little more like Coal Mine that you heard. But then for some of our songs, like it's really interesting to play with the dynamic of like having a female sing certain harmony parts or something. Like it can kind of add to the story there. So it's lots of fun. And, I like cooking food for the guys and keeping us on track with some organization stuff, a little bit like a mom. But honestly, it's a fun time.
Good. And for both of you, did the collaboration with the brewery and the beer that I Mountain has, did that help at all with your decision to join the band? So how did that happen, Matt? How did you? In this brewery
So
kinda
was this
go
the
together?
Sawdust City one that we did?
Yeah, that was the.
Yeah.
I saw this. I saw that on the website. How did that come about? Because I think that'd be really cool to partner with a brewery to have. Here's a beer named after us, and it was also with somebody else, right? Like it was a collaboration with I the Mountain and
Sawdust City Brewing Company.
Sawdust City. Okay.
Yeah. So it was honestly the way it worked out was that Matt Lamers and I in university we had we wouldn't call it a challenge, but they used to give out these Ontario Craft Brewers, which is like a brewing sort of collaborative marketing organization. They used to give out these like little brewing checklist or beer drinking checklists, and it had like all of the beers from the Ontario Craft Brewers. And so we set ourselves a challenge of trying to drink every single one, or trying to try every single one of these. So we were really into craft beer in our early university days, and still are to this day. And we just thought, honestly, how cool would it be if we could do a collaboration and get our name on a beer can? We had thought about, maybe we could open a brewery, but that was clearly a pipe dream. So we thought maybe we could get our name on a beer. So we used the magic of Twitter and tweeted at Sawdust City Brewing Company and said, would you like to do a beer with us? And then Sam, who was the brewmaster up at Sawdust City, and big shout out to Sawdust City. They are unreal. They are an amazing beer company, and their beer is amazing. He invited us up, and we brewed the first batch of I the Mountain and the Leprechaun Flute
That was
red
the part that I was trying to
IPA.
remember. Leprechaun food. Yeah.
We didn't choose that name, but it is a great name. So we brewed the first batch of that on his driveway, and we got to add the bowl of hops into the first brew.
Okay. So what is it? Is it kind of like an IPA or what's the style of this beer?
Yeah, it's like a stronger beer, so an IPA, and it's a bit like it's kind of like if an IPA was wearing a plaid shirt. Like it's got a sort of a rugged flavor to it.
Okay.
It's,
It's a little bit like caramely as well, too.
Yeah.
Though. So they usually do it seasonally, like in the winter time. It's a very like cozy winter night kind of beer.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that would be up my. I'm not a huge IPA fan, and living in Massachusetts, like IPA rules up here. So
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of local beer choices, but there are some. Sam Adams puts out a red every once in a while. That's a little bit more hearty. So
Nice.
all right, I'm gonna try and find this beer. I really want to try it.
Oh, it's a tough find, honestly. It was only available at the breweries, and they just did it kind of seasonally. But we went up like every single year. We always go and play a show there in the winter time when it's on tap. So
I think Matt Lamer still has a can of it from
Ooh.
3 years ago in his living room. So if you come visit, we can crack that open.
I'm not sure that gets better with age.
I
see how
don't
it
think so. I don't
does
think
not.
so.
So Matt, how long had you and Lemire's been playing together before you kind of officially started Eye the Mountain and before Matt Morgan joined?
Yeah, Eye the Mountain was always kind of an organic creation, I guess. We met first year university at Trent University in Peterborough, and we started jamming in Matt Lamer's dorm room, and also in the little music room in our residence. And we just started playing shows around town. I forget how we played our first show, whether we were asked to do it or whether it was organized by someone else. But then we thought, you know what, if we're not going home for the summer, we might as well just play music on the street corners or at farmers markets. And that seems like a pretty great way to spend a summer. So that's what we did. And we just, every Saturday, we'd go out to the Peterborough Farmers Market and play for a few hours there. And then, we'd go to the Wednesday Farmers Markets. And then we started busking late nights, around town, and which was always, you meet so many characters busking late night. I mean, meet so many characters busking anyways, but like, especially at like 2 a.m. In a university town, you meet a lot of characters, and it was just so much fun. And at that time, Matt Lamers had released his own album called Moments of Helplessness, and he was working on his second album. And a lot of the songs that he was working on for that ended up being our first album, because it just we started playing together. We just enjoyed it. We sort of saw how our voices fit together, how we sort of worked together creatively, and it just so I don't even remember if there was an official conversation about transitioning into Eye the Mountain. It just sort of became, all right, we're going to do this, and then that's kind of how the band was formed.
Wow. So really, I mean, the whole time the band has come together very organically, like you said. Like you two just kind of went, and then other Matt just joined. You talked about on the IG Live, like basically right before the EP, like, hey, I'm play bass, and then it seems like Rory and Allison just kind of moved in there too. It's kind of cool how it organically came together. But do you see this as really the band now? Like no really other direction for it, member wise?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the great thing about Eye the Mountain has always been that it is a project of friendship. Maybe even before it is a project of music. Like, we are all so close and we're such great friends. And when we started, Matt Lamers and I we were friends before we were bandmates. And then when Matt Morgan came in, Matt Lamers knew him in class before he invited him to join the band. And then Rory and I met ahead of time. We were friends before, and then Allison and I had a relationship. And so we're all like such good friends that it just feels like we are having the time of our lives, being able to hang out together all the time and playing music. So I can't really see it going, in a different direction.
Yeah. And six people wouldn't fit in a car.
That is true.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely not with all the gear we have.
So how did the name come about? It was obviously with the two of you, the two Matts. Did it really have to do with nature stuff then too? Like you said earlier on Monday that you kind of fell into this, in a sense, a lot of songs about nature, but even the title seems to have nature in it. So were you really falling into it, or was it nature the whole time?
Yeah, it wasn't conscious. The name I the Mountain actually came from a dream that Matt Lamers had, because we were sort of banding about different names. Originally, the band was called Matthew Peter Lamers and the Feel Goods.
Okay.
That was the original name when we had. That was when we had a different set of 3 Matts. We actually had another Matt before Matt Morgan. So
how many Matts are there in Canada? I'm curious.
I know it sounds like I'm making that up, but it's actually true. We played our first few shows with another Matt, but we were banding about names. We knew we didn't want to stick with Matthew Peter Lamers and the Feel Goods. And then at one point, Matt Lamers said, I just had a dream last night about our band name, and it was either Between the Mountain and Me or I the Mountain, and I can't decide which one. And there's a band, Rory, you probably know this band, Between the Buried and Me.
Yep.
And so we thought that was a little too maybe copyright infringement to go with Between the Mountain and Me. So we went with I the Mountain, and it has served us well. And I think, like you mentioned, that it ties in with the nature piece. It might not have been a conscious decision to go with, to do a nature themed name, but I think it was definitely, that's always been a part of our music. So when we thought about it, it just fit really well.
And really a part of at least Matt Morgan, he's the one that lives on the big spread of land that you recorded the video. But everybody in the band really likes being outdoors and kind of experiencing nature.
Definitely. Yeah. Rory is like backcountry camping all the time in the summer and fall.
Yep.
Wow. Anybody rock climb or hike or anything like that?
I have done rock climbing,
but
I am also very afraid of heights. So
yeah, me too. Yeah.
I haven't done outdoor rock climbing, but every once in a while, I have a friend who really likes doing it, so I'll go with her. And I always need some encouragement to let go of the rocks at the top and trust that the rope isn't going to just plummet me down to the ground.
Yeah, no, it definitely takes some time to get used to, and I'm still not used to outside as much as I should be.
Yeah.
So in 2019, everybody kind of gets together, maybe a little bit before that, and then you start recording some singles and eventually release the album. But that's right. I mean, COVID is happening, so that must have put a damper on everything. How were you able to adjust to that? Like, was it difficult, or did you say we're just going to go with it and you found some options pretty quickly?
Yeah, I mean, we had the entire album recorded before COVID started. We recorded the summer before the album came out, and then in the fall we were kind of starting to release the singles, and in the winter we started releasing the singles. We were super excited, had like a really big release tour planned all across Ontario. But then, of course, starting in March, everything shut down here in Ontario. Well, I was going to say in Ontario, around the entire world.
Right.
But yeah, it was definitely a strange time. Like having the tours canceled was really, really a shame, because we were super excited to like share our music and album with like lots of different cities around the province. But we actually found that because we released the album like right at the start of the pandemic, like I think it was in the second or third week of being locked down, like we actually got a lot more attention than I think we might have. In that first part of the pandemic, everyone was doing all these live streams. There was such a big focus on like having music to kind of help us through this hard time. So like we were doing weekly live streams for about 2 months. We did them, maybe even longer. We did live streams on Facebook, and
including a pajama party.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with them, honestly. And I feel like it actually was just like a really interesting time to release the album, because I felt like it brought a lot of comfort to people to have something to be really excited about and something to kind of rally around all together as a community, even though we were like literally stuck at home. And that was when you like weren't allowed to do anything. Like you were supposed to go to the grocery store once a week, and that was kind of it. So yeah, I mean, we adjusted. It was really fun to grow our online community and connect with people in that way. Like we have some fans that live across the country that, or in different countries even, that wouldn't usually be able to come to live shows. So it was actually really cool to be able to connect with them online a lot more. So
Were you able to play much together as the five of you before 2020? Like when did you really start playing together and recording these tracks before everything came out?
We started playing together, 2019? Rory, do you remember the date?
I think it was right at the end of 2018.
Yeah, I think the first time I was over was October 2018, and then we kind of did like bi-weekly practices because we were all coming from different places, and then started to play shows in January of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we ended up doing in September of 2019, so about 5 months before the pandemic, we did our first ever sort of legit tour. We went out to the east coast of Canada for 3 weeks and played 20 shows or so in the space of 3 weeks. And then I mean, of course, we got the touring bug at that point, and we planned our next tour, our local tour in Ontario, for March, April, May of 2020. And, the rest is kind of history on that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, we did end up doing, and you sort of mentioned this in your intro, we did end up doing a virtual tour. Which was, so we did end up kind of doing a tour, just not really the way we expected.
Yeah.
Right. Were a lot of those bands that I guess were also on the virtual tour, were they already scheduled to be with you when you went to those different cities? Or was that kind of a last minute, like, hey, let's have some other bands play with us?
Some of them were, yeah. So our friend John Muirhead, we were going to play a show. We were going to play our album release show with him, as well as the band Red Fox. They're from Montreal. They were going to come down to Toronto and do our release show with us. Then the other bands were just ones that we've played with in the past, or Mountain Head, actually. They're from Toronto. They were just a band that we had been following for a while. We sent them a message and said, hey, do you want to do a live stream? And it was super fun. So yeah, some were ones we had played with in the past, and then others were new, which was a lot of fun too.
Right.
I think, and that's like the best part about playing shows and doing tours, is you meet so many different bands. So Red Fox, we had met them. Did we meet them in Montreal?
No, we met them at an
we met them
audition for a festival, actually.
So we met them at Mariposa, and then John Muirhead we met at a show, same show. Too. And then George Woodhouse, we played a virtual show with him, and you knew him previously, but we'd played a show with him, played a show with him in Halifax. And I mean, the more you do shows and the more you play, sort of do tours and stuff, like the more you sort of meet these bands and make connections. And then that way, if you have to go back to that city, or if you have to do a virtual tour, you can just, you have people to message, and you can say, hey, we'd love to play a show with you again. And it just worked out that way. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it seems like you have a lot of connections in the music scene in the whole region up there. So that was really cool. On the Christmas YouTube video I watched, there were a lot of different people in that video.
Yeah, that was super fun. That was another kind of fun pandemic thing to do, to just get everyone together and have something to get excited about.
Awesome. So let's hear another song. We're going to hear Wildflowers now, which is your newest, as of right now, single. But there will be another new one in August. So I'm going to get Wildflowers queued up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that before we hear it?
Perfect.
Rory, do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. So Wildflowers was one that originally our lead singer, Matt Lamers, had sent us, and it was a bit of a more experimental track, I'd say. I think you guys would agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we'd agree with that. That's maybe even understating it a little bit.
Yeah, more on the electronic side. He was having some fun with his recording programs during the pandemic. But it was one that he sent to us. We were kind of on the fence about it, but he sent it to Simon Ward of the Strumbellas. And I guess Simon saw some promise there and wrote a few hooks that he sent our way. And the rest is history. We really enjoyed them. And then we're really happy with what the song turned into.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's hear it now. Here is Wildflowers from I, the Mountain.
How'd you get your hair smelling like wildflowers? I'd climb the highest of mountains to keep you safe from all that is haunting. Truthfully, I need your head next to mine, and hopefully we can lay here forever. I wanna lift you up and give you everything. How'd you get your hair smelling like wildflowers? I wanna lift you up and give you everything. How'd you get your hair smelling like wildflowers?
Honestly, I'd swim the furthest of seas now to hold you close and chase your demons away. Someday we'll lay side by side once again.
I wanna lift you up and give you everything. How'd you get your hair smelling like wildflowers? I wanna lift you up and give you everything. How'd you get your hair smelling like wildflowers? How'd you get your hair smelling like wildflowers?
All right, that's really awesome. That's a good one, and it is pretty, pretty different. I can see that from some of the other stuff you have. But Rory, since it's a little bit more experimental, a little bit more electronic, did you feel some more freedom to get back to your more heavier roots, or to really play around with the electric guitar at all?
I did get a chance to do that a bit in the studio where we were recording, Lincoln County Social House. It has a real great collection of guitars, and when it came time to do the palm muted kind of building parts, the engineer John brought out this awesome, like I think he said it was like a $10,000 Gibson SG for me to play.
Oh my
so
goodness.
I mean, it wasn't playing the most complicated part in there, but I still got to have a lot of fun with the guitar and the different tones he was creating.
Wow. So you're hoping that Matt will come up with more experimental electronic stuff so you can do that more, right?
Yeah, we'll see how things go.
That's awesome. The video for Wildflowers is really cool.
Thank you.
That kind of love story between those two people. But what I really loved was part 2, the second video that you had, where you highlighted some of the love notes that were sent in. What did you think of those love notes that came in, and were you surprised by any of them?
Yeah, so that was an idea that we had when we were kind of thinking about what to do for this music video. We actually used, we were awarded a grant from our local community to do the video. And the grant was all about connecting with our community, connecting with the fan base. So we thought, what's a way that we can kind of connect with people and allow them to connect with us a little bit more. We asked our fans to send love notes. They could be written to anybody that they wanted, a pet, a friend, a family member, a partner. Someone wrote one to the Toronto Maple Leafs. And yeah, they were just like amazing to see, honestly. Like the range of notes that we received was really, really extraordinary. Some of them were short and sweet. Others were long and very poetic and very honest. It was just amazing to see how many people were willing to like open up and share that side of themselves with us. I really loved one of the ones that was written to a couple to their unborn child. Like the woman is pregnant at the moment, and like that one like almost made me cry when I was watching us film the video. So yeah, it was just really sweet, and we received notes from all over. We got some one from a fan in Germany, and one or two from the States, and then like all over Canada. It was really cool.
Were there some Korean notes in there too? I'm trying to think of the different. There were a lot of different languages that I could not.
One was written in Mandarin,
Okay,
and
right.
then we had one or two written in, was it Swedish or Finnish?
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was Finnish. It might have been. I think it was Swedish.
Maybe Swedish,
Okay.
and then we had one or two people submit some in French.
Was there Polish?
And we had one in German though. So yeah, it was like we encouraged people to write it in whatever language they felt comfortable with, and it was just so cool to see the diversity of ways that people can express feelings, really strong feelings of passion. So
Did you have somebody translate those for you?
we didn't actually. No, we
Okay.
just left them as is and just thought, it's out there for anyone that knows how to read the language, and it's out there for that person to
Right.
have it out in the world. So yeah.
What is something you've learned about love from reading some of those letters?
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
I mean, I think that sometimes, and I think this was kind of the overall idea of the concept, was sometimes there are things that are tough to express, either because they're difficult to express, or because you feel them so deeply that you may not want to be vulnerable and express them. And I think that, what we've learned is that it can be really powerful to share feelings of deep passion and share and get those out in the world. And it's really powerful for the person who is sharing it, but it's also really powerful for the person to witness, for people to witness those things being shared. Alison, you mentioned, reading that letter and being overcome with emotion. And that happened, I think, a few times when we were looking through the batch of letters submitted. It's an emotional experience to see people sharing their true emotions. And I think sometimes in the world, we get kind of caught up with putting up the facade or the brand, or sharing things that we think will get us to, professionally to where we want to go, or that we think people want to see from us. And to see people sharing their true emotions and sort of, sharing honestly and openly their passion, I think that was a really powerful experience for all of us. And kind of, it's, interesting or nice for us to reflect on that and how we can, be able to provide that for people.
Rory, Allison, anything for you?
I might just add that it felt nice to provide an opportunity for people to, like Matt said, express themselves. I know I, for one, am someone who typically expresses themselves better through writing than through telling people things or conversing like this. So just giving people the chance, I think we got some answers that people might not have shared otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, just a big thing was like how important it is to make sure that you tell people you love them, or tell people that they're special to you or care about them. Like you don't always get a chance to do it, or sometimes it feels like awkward to bring it up in conversation. And it's important to tell your parents, tell your friends, your family, like just how much they mean to you. So that's kind of what I took away from it, how I maybe should be doing that more, even like in an in-person setting. So yeah.
No, Roy and Allison, I think you're absolutely right. And I think there was a letter where I think it was a guy writing to his somebody he loved. And I think he said in the beginning of the letter, I don't often tell you how much I love you. So I want to take this opportunity. I think I remember seeing that letter.
Yeah, I remember that letter. Yeah, I know what one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder that to make sure you tell people that you love that you love them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you provided that opportunity for people in the community to do that. And what was the name of that grant? Because I also saw on social media that you applied for another grant, the Darcy's Creative Grant. And that was an interesting video.
You found that video?
Yeah, that's the second one on your
Yes.
Instagram.
So the grant that we received, it was called the Create and Connect Grant. It was put on through the City of Kitchener, as well as Center in the Square, which is like a local performance space. So that was for local artists from the Waterloo region to apply for like any sort of creative projects they had. The Darcy's grant was a little bit different. The Darcys are an awesome band. For anyone that doesn't know them, they're originally from Toronto, hanging out in LA nowadays.
Okay.
They opened up a grant that basically just said, hey, like make a video, tell us why you need money for a music project for independent artists, and we'll pick 3 of them and see what happens. So unfortunately, we did not get that grant, but we had a whole lot of fun making a really out there video for it.
Oh, what was the grant called? Like, there was a reason why we chose. We didn't just decide to make an out there
like
video.
It was called a creative grant or something like that. And they said we're gonna get a lot of submissions because it was just submit a video on social media.
Right.
So be creative so you stand out. So we took that part really to heart, I think.
I think that the Cash song that you guys wrote was great.
Yeah.
Turn it into gold. You said a couple of times with the gold record. That was great.
Yeah, Brian, we cannot take credit for that. We got to fill you in. And I mean, you're in Massachusetts, right?
That's right. Yes.
So this video was kind of a parody of a famous Toronto commercial that used to air all the time on like Canadian TV. By Oliver Jewelers. So if anybody who's listening, the Cash Man.
Cash Man, okay.
So if you if anyone who's listening wants to go check out the original Oliver Jewelers commercial that we based this video on, you can check it out and you can find it on YouTube. It is well worth checking out. It's essentially just like all the elements that are in our video are in that video.
Yeah. He's basically an Ontario legend. So
okay.
Canadian legend even.
Yeah, he only has stores in the GTA, I think.
Yeah, but he is the original Cash Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
How close does Matt get to being the Cash Man?
We will let the audience decide that one. Yeah. I think it's pretty close, actually. The cadence.
He got the voice right.
Yeah. Really? Okay.
Matt Lamas. That's very good. You did a good job.
It was pretty over the top. I was wondering what the background to that video was. That's so awesome. So you, like I said, it's like the second, I think, newest post that you have on Instagram, and the Wildflowers video is fairly recent. I mean, it came out. What month did it come out this year?
Oh, I think in June.
June. Yeah, June 4th.
Right. So you have that. That song come out, and then you have this video for the Cash Man come out, and then there was an interesting kind of post saying, "Hey, we're gonna take a step back from social media and Instagram for a bit. You might check it here and there. Probably won't post much at all." And by the way, thank you for kind of breaking that to be a part of the show. So what's the reason behind that? Why take a step back shortly after? The release of the new song and kind of this video to get this grant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we were just feeling like after we had a really successful release with Wildflowers, we had about a month where we were like pushing everything really hard. We had the song come out, the music video. We actually did another beer collab with a local brewery in Kitchener. So we
Okay.
made a Wildflowers beer. So,
Oh.
and we had merchandise too. Like we basically had 4 straight weeks of just like curated social media content. We had a post every single day that was planned. You know, everything had to be really, really meticulous to make sure that this post got the song got the success that it deserved. And it worked well. We had a very successful release, but after that, we were just feeling totally fried. Like we were just very exhausted. You know, we weren't able to focus on the music anymore because all of our meetings and conversations had to be based around like, okay, what date is the music video coming out? And what date is the beer coming out? And okay, let's do a promo for the beer on this day, and then we'll do a promo for the merch the next day. And there's really a lot of behind the scenes that goes into being an independent band, especially like we don't have a management team. We don't have a PR team of any sort. It's all us doing all of our own social media. And it really takes a lot of effort to create a professional appearance on social media. And we just felt that we needed to focus on our music again. We're starting on our new batch of songs for our next album. And we just wanted to be able to worry about our music and not so much about our online presence anymore. So it was super relaxing, super freeing to just feel like we don't have any responsibility to post anything right now. We can just hang out together. We had some really, really nice band practices over the last month, just getting together for several days in a row, just thinking about the music again. So yeah, I think it's really important that, you know, anybody else that is an independent artist or has their own brand or business, like understands that they are a human as well. And you know, they can take time off. They can take a vacation. Their followers will still be there when they get back. You know, it doesn't need to be every post every day. You know, you can take a break from it. So I'm super thankful that we did that. Matt Lamers does a lot of our Instagram presence, and he does a fantastic job with it. But he was also the one that suggested it, and I'm really glad he did it. You know, it made people remember that we're also humans. You know, we're not just musicians and like a social media project. So yeah.
So how are you going to protect that in the future to make sure that it doesn't get kind of out of control again? Do you have a plan in place to remind yourselves that it's really about music and friendship and not get too lost in the business that unfortunately has to happen if you are an independent artist?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that there will be times where it gets overwhelming again. I think that comes with the release territory and trying to compete with the many other projects that are competing for eyeballs and ears when it comes to music. So when we release our next single, we anticipate that it's probably going to be a similar sort of social media schedule, and you know we have to we're going to have to do that. But I think being able to take a step back, like we have done, and knowing that it's okay to do that. That is also freeing because it's you know that it's okay to you're able to recognize when it's been enough, and then take that step back and recharge, and then come back out and for the next project. And I think we didn't up until this point maybe. We didn't fully recognize that, and we just sort of tried to keep the wheels spinning. And if any of us were on vacation, then it was like, okay, we'll plan the post ahead and do all the work ahead of time, and then work twice as hard in order to keep the content flowing. But this has kind of showed us that it's okay. It's okay to take a few weeks off, and I think more and more creators are starting to realize that you have to put yourself first, otherwise. Ultimately, the relationships within the band or the art itself will suffer if you're feeling stressed and anxious about social media. And it isn't about just social media. We always say that we're a band first, and we're a business second. We're a band first, and we're a group of friends first, and we're a business second. So, that taking care of those first two things is the most important thing, even if it comes at the expense of, a few likes,
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
just,
It's all
that's
just
okay.
a balance.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a great transition to the new song that's going to be released shortly. So in a couple weeks, August 6th is when this will be officially released. And the name of the song is Houseplant. I'm going to get it queued up. Do you want to say anything about it, or do you want to talk about it on the other side?
I'll do a little intro, I guess, of it. So Houseplant, our lead singer wrote probably over a year ago now. It was always just a little demo that he had, just kind of a fun, boppy love song. And we kind of sat on it for a while. Like no one was super keen on like getting right into it. But a few months ago, we started jamming it as a group, and it just like came together in such a fun way. This one's definitely a little bit more on the like rocky poppy side compared to some of our other music, but it's been so much fun. There's some tempo changes throughout it. Like it's just such a fun little boppy song. We had a lot of fun doing the group vocals in the end and stuff. So yeah, just a cute little love song about being in a relationship and sometimes being unsure of where that's going, and sometimes gifts can go a long way. I don't know.
Awesome. All right. Well, this is the premiere of the newest single coming out next month, Houseplant from I, the Mountain.
Woo.
I've got a brand new haircut. You've got a sinking feeling in your gut. I know that you wanna leave. You don't have to leave. You don't have to leave. I've got a brand new attitude. It infiltrates everything I do. But I know that you know I'm still me. Do you wake up wanting more when you couldn't get it? Wanting more when you're gonna get tired. Hey, I'm asking for a friend. Maybe we can grab a drink and discuss it then. But I don't really mind when you keep me up all damn night. That's my favorite time to feel alive. I don't care if you're lost, and I don't care if you're found. And I would buy you a house plan just to keep you around. I've got a brand new haircut. You've got a new lace on your life. I could never think twice about the cold days that we spent just trying to get by. I'd be the first to admit that I went and let you down. I wouldn't change a thing, not for you, my darling. And I don't care if you're lost, and I don't care if you're found. And I would buy you a house plan just to keep you around. Do you wake up wanting more?
That's awesome. I love that song. Thanks so much for premiering it on the show. I love when new songs are played. So that's really great. And you're right. You can definitely, the instruments come out a little bit more in that one.
Yeah.
Lots of really cool electric in the bass line going throughout. So yeah, I just feel like all the instruments got to be highlighted a little bit more in that. So Awesome. August 6th is when that comes out. How is the preparation for that? Have you done everything now, or are you going to wait till it gets a little bit closer?
We're
our
getting,
last discussion?
yeah, we're
have.
getting there. We have kind of stuff set up. We actually just did a little at-home music video for it this past week. So
Okay.
we got a kind of a fun little goofy music video coming your way that I
Awesome.
think people will enjoy. We had a lot of fun filming that as a group and just kind of being goofy together, I guess.
Little teaser. It features our very own houseplant.
Yeah.
That sits on our
okay.
windowsill.
All right. And it's protected, right? Nothing happens to the houseplant. It's
I mean,
okay.
throughout the filming of the music video, it may have lost a few of its like aloe vera tentacles.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know what you call those, the spiky parts of it.
Arms.
But it's survived. It's doing quite well, and
That's
it's
good.
going to be a movie star. So how could it not be happy?
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So I thank you again for that song, and also for coming on the show. It's been really, really awesome having you three on. I want to make it to Toronto in Canada to see. There's been a lot of bands that I've had on here. I want to spend a few days up there to just see bands.
Mhm,
Do you
please
have any
do.
live shows planned now that things are really opening up there? Have you started making contacts with people?
Yeah, we're kind of in the process of it. We, like I said, Ontario, like we kind of just got into our last phase, like last week. So we have we have a local show booked in Kitchener in August, and then the fall is slowly filling out with some different places. So nothing super set in stone yet, but we're definitely really excited to get back out, like all across the province to play for different places and just like sing along with people again. I'm so excited. I'm probably gonna cry at our first live show, honestly. So excited.
So you have this single coming out, and then do you know when the finished album will be done, or is that just too far in the future to even think about it right now?
We're thinking hopefully end of next summer. We're
Yeah.
hoping. It depends a little bit on, we've applied for some grants. Of course, can't make an album without money. So
Right.
we're
Yep.
hoping to get some grants for it. And once we get back to playing live shows, that'll help a lot.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, hopefully end of next summer, because we've been sitting on these songs now for like a year already.
Yeah.
So we just want to get them out there, and we want to play them. We want to have, first of all, we want to have the Little Wild tour for our last album that we
Right. Yeah.
couldn't
Yeah.
last in 2020. But then after that, we want to get right back into the studio and then be able to play these new songs live, because we're super pumped.
So we do actually have two more singles that are going to come out this year, just kind of one-offs that we were able to record during the pandemic. And then new batch of songs to go with a new album, hopefully next year. So
Perfect. All right. And anyone listening, I also have a link in the bio to my Instagram for a virtual tip jar. So it's via Cash App. If you have Cash App, click on that link. And if you want to show the band a little bit more love and support, drop them a tip in that tip jar, and everything at the end of the week goes back to them. It will go a long way in helping get this album recorded. So I hope that there's a lot there for you at the end. Just a little bit of extra, hey, we support you, love your music. But at the very least,
thank
That's
you.
great, Brian. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
We
I
really
hope that
appreciate
everybody
that.
just listens to all of your music. It's really great YouTube videos and everything. So you guys are all great. How
Thanks.
else can people follow you other than Spotify and I guess Instagram?
We post, so most of our updates will come through our Instagram account or Facebook or Twitter as well. Honestly, we had a fan send us an email like a month ago,
yeah.
ithemountain@gmail.com, and it was just the nicest thing. It was a super nice email, just like someone checking in and saying they were excited to hear us play next year. And like that, it was just super nice. So like reach out anytime. We control all of our own social media. So if you send us a message, we will message you back. So
Write us a letter, give us a phone call. Honestly, we're pretty flexible.
Yeah.
and we also actually
have, I was just
Go
going to
ahead,
add that
Rory.
we also have a Patreon if you would like to join us
okay.
for that content. So we've been we recorded some videos this past week when we were together, just a little bit of extra content depending on what tier you choose to join us at. no matter what you choose there, we would be happy to have you along for the ride with us.
Awesome. And is that on just patreon.com/I the Mountain?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Lots of ways to support you guys, to check out your music. And I look forward to hearing more. But don't go away yet, because if you can stick around for just a couple more minutes after 7 o'clock, I want to talk about the playlist theme and really kind of get into that and talk a little bit about favorite nature songs with you three. And that's going to happen just after 7. I think maybe I can play the first song while we're waiting for 7 o'clock in that station identification to happen. The first song that's going to be on the playlist. I'll go ahead and get that started, and then I'll be back after the station identification.
WNTF, Cambridge, Needham, Boston.
All right, so I'm back with Allison, Rory, and Matt from I the Mountain, and we are going to talk about the playlist theme that you guys came up with, which I loved. It was really creative. Didn't expect this at all. Favorite nature songs, and it's because, I mean, as we talked about, everybody in the band is really into the outdoors and doing stuff in nature. What are some of your favorite nature songs that really get you in the mood for going outside?
I would say I have some that I really love listening to when it's raining out, actually. When I was in university, I went to school for 1 year in Kingston, Ontario at Queen's, which is like a 4-hour drive from where I grew up. So I was like driving a lot. I lived there, but I would drive home on the weekends a bunch. And I had this playlist of songs that I would love to listen to when it was like pouring rain. There's a song called Wishing Well by a band called the Oh Hellos that I love listening to when it rains. It's like really like emotional. There's a lot of banjo in that song.
Allison is a sucker for banjo.
There's also a song called, this one's maybe a little more nature themed, but Rivers and Roads by The Head and the Heart is like a big favorite of mine. And get some pouring rain in that song. I'm just like, nature, the rivers, like I just love it. So yeah, I love like some great folk music. That always kind of gets me in the mood for being outside in the natural elements.
Yeah, I think I added the Head and the Heart song. I don't know if it was that one, but there was one I added to the playlist. That's a good one though. Matt, what about you? What are some?
I'm also on the folk train. When I was over in Germany a few years back, there was a song that appeared on my Discover Weekly playlist by a band called Inlet Sound, and the song was called Romantics 1. And that song, I was listening to that hiking through the hills, or the hill, just north of, or I don't know what direction it is, outside of Würzburg in Germany. And it was just a pretty magical experience walking through the forest, listening to that song. So that's definitely one. That whole album is very nature-based and is a great one to listen to when you are outside. Also, for some reason, the Bombadils popped into my head, which is a Nova Scotia duo. I think they're a Nova Scotia duo. And they do a cover of Wild Mountain Thyme, which is amazing. So yeah, those are my two recommendations if you're going out for a nature walk.
Okay, nice. Are they pretty, chill and folkish, or are they a little bit heavier?
I mean, Inlet Sound is very sort of up tempo and very passionate. Like they're passionate songwriters and performers. So there's a lot of emotion that's put into theirs. And I mean, Bombadils, it's a duo, I believe. and it's classic folk. It's really great. It's a
It's
great,
like beautiful harmonies.
yeah, beautiful harmonies, great instrumentation, and a perfect accompaniment to a nice walk at sundown.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice. And Rory, how about you? Favorite nature songs?
Yeah, I was also going to go with rainy day stuff. I like a lot of slower music. One I've been listening to recently, since it's been pretty rainy here, is Cross the River on Your Own by Mew.
Okay.
But really, for me, anytime I'm going on a road trip, I like a good dream pop playlist and listen to anything with a lot of reverb. I can just zone out and appreciate the nature as a passenger. If I'm looking for something sunnier, though, I know it's an obvious choice, but going with the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
That just always boosts my mood and makes me think of summertime and being out in the sun.
Uh-huh. And you get out a lot. You said you do a lot of backpacking in backcountry.
Yeah, I try my best to. I mean, one of the few upsides of the pandemic and not being able to play shows is that it's meant I have a few more available weekends to get out and do some camping.
Right. Nice. Good. And if you take a break from social media and all that release stuff, then you can be like, all right, guys, I'm going to go camping now.
Yeah, I'll get off the grid for a few days.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We all need that time.
Yeah, we all do. And I think one of the songs that I put on this playlist, I had a lot of folk stuff on there and kind of oldies, feel good. But I also put some kind of post rock, ambient music on there because I like this, not necessarily having words, just kind of being in the moment, I feel like, and having music in the background, but nothing with words to kind of lead you one direction, something that just has more emotion to it. So I put like a guy named Slow Meadow, or he goes by Slow Meadow. There's a song, Polymote, on the playlist. And again, it's just, no lyrics, just him kind of playing, and there's some build, and it transitions a little bit. So that's a really great feel to just kind of be out in nature and still have that sound going on, but just kind of feeling the moment, I think, a little bit more. So yeah, there's a little bit of everything on this playlist. I think there's, some almost like reggae, and then some folk, and then some even ambient. So it's a really cool playlist. It's awesome that you guys came up with it. I would have never thought of something like that. So really, thank you again for doing it.
No problem.
Yeah, and thanks, Brian, for facilitating it too.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I can't wait to check it out. I'm really excited to dig into some of those tracks.
Mhm.
Sweet. So the link is on in the Instagram. In the link tree, you can find it there. You can also find it if you search on Spotify for Music from Friends, it'll pop up. So yeah, definitely check it out, give it a like, and let me know what you think. And like I said, thanks for breaking your kind of Instagram, social media kind of hiatus to share music and talk to me, message me on Instagram too. So really thank you again for joining the live stream and the show. Really appreciate it, and I look forward to hearing more singles and this final album, and hopefully one day seeing you guys play live. I think it'd be really awesome.
Absolutely. Now, Brian, before we go, though, I have a few questions for you. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go
Put you
for
on the
it.
spot a little bit. If we were to go to Massachusetts, where would be the one spot you'd recommend that we play? Where would we eat? And what would we drink when we're there?
Oh wow. Okay. So we might be able to do two of those at one place. So there is a place in Cambridge, or actually it's in Somerville, Massachusetts, which is near Cambridge, called the Buren. It's Burren. They do a lot of live shows, and they were constantly doing live performances before COVID happened.
Awesome.
COVID kind of shut things down for a little bit, but they're starting to open back up. I know some people who are really connected to them who were getting live shows and performers to come play. So that would be a great place to play. It's Somerville, the area Somerville that's in is really kind of young and hipster and really thriving. So a lot of people come out to see music there. They have a great beer selection, but there's also oh man, where would we even start with beer?
The home of the New England IPA.
Yeah,
So
there's
much.
a great brewery called Treehouse that everybody really loves, and they have some really great IPAs. Lots of different, triple IPAs and stuff like that. Everybody loves them. It's okay. It's a good IPA, I guess, as far as IPA goes. But I've heard a lot of great things about Treehouse, so definitely try that one. And then where would you eat? Let's see, a great restaurant that my girlfriend and I checked out the other day called Stillwater. It's actually named after the college town that I went to in Oklahoma, which is very far away from Massachusetts.
Cool.
The person there went to the same college I went to, and she moved up here and started this really amazing restaurant. It's they take comfort food that I'm used to, like biscuits and gravy and stuff like that, and they put kind of a new modern twist on it. And
Nice.
it's really, really awesome food. So
That's awesome. So we have Buren, Treehouse, and Stillwater.
there you go.
Awesome.
Yep.
We can't wait to come down, like getting down to the States, Massachusetts, New York, Philadelphia. Like that is on our bucket list. We would love to get down there. And so when we're in Massachusetts, we'll have to give you a call and hit up some of those places.
Please do. Please message me on Instagram and say, "Hey, we're here." And I want to see you guys play live. But even if I don't see you play live, let's hang out and grab a beer when you're here. So
Awesome.
Absolutely.
That's good.
So it was a pleasure to meet you three, and I'm going to jump onto the playlist now. If you want, you guys can tune in and listen to the playlist on the radio, parts of some songs that I highlighted there and some stuff that was sent in. So
Great.
again, thank you so much for joining the show. It was really awesome having you three on.
Awesome.
Hey,
Thanks
thanks,
for
Brian.
having us.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.